So, what does it really take to scale a business and keep your sanity while you're doing it? Today, I'm going to be pulling back the curtain with someone that you might not hear from often, but who plays a huge role in how we run things here at Next Step Social, our COO, Shawn Quintero. We're going to be talking about how we are growing Next Step Social with the systems that keep us running smoothly and the one offer that's been transforming our clients' results, our special VIP Day. Welcome to Rocky Mountain Marketing. I'm your host, Katie Brinkley. Join us as we dive deep with the world's leading digital marketing experts every single Tuesday. It's all about giving you the strategies that are working right now, directly from those who are making an impact. With my 20 years of experience, I'm here to help you navigate the world of digital marketing. Whether you're looking to sharpen your skills or transform your business, you're in the right place. Let's get started on today's journey to success. Welcome back to this week's episode of Rocky Mountain Marketing. Today, I'm sitting down with a very special guest, somebody that works with me day in and day out at Next Step Social, the COO of the company, Shawn Quintero. I've had the opportunity of knowing him for over 5 years now, and back earlier in 2025, we decided to join forces, and Shawn stepped into the COO role. So Shawn is also the co-owner at Next Step Social, and we're going to talk about why he's an integral part of the business and some of the other aspects that go on behind the scenes here at Next Step Social. So for those who don't know you yet, Shawn, can you tell us a little bit about your background and what led you into operations and strategy?
Yeah. Hey, everybody. My name is Shawn Q. I'm so excited to be on the podcast. Thanks for having me, Katie. A
Yes.
little bit about my background. I actually got started with a large corporation as their marketing director and eventually went on my own, started some of my own companies. And what I really discovered having a passion for was not just solving problems, but creating systems that solve problems. I once heard somebody say, I'm not interested in why a light bulb goes out at the factory. I'm interested in the system that allowed that light bulb to go out without us replacing it. And in other words, I love doing the deeper thinking that allows us to say, okay, how is this going to scale? Where is this going to be when we hit a certain milestone? And how can we problem solve today, build systems, automations, delegations in today so that that doesn't become a problem later? And that's what we bring to Next Step Social and a lot of our clients. I get the awesome opportunity to interact with our clients and work with them on business development and scalability for their own practices and helping them with their marketing engines as well. And so it's pretty incredible to say, okay, what are the problems and how can we build systems to solve those problems?
Yeah, which is great because that is not my strength, the system side of things. And so it's been great having you be a part of the business and be a co-owner here because it allows us to have like both sides of the brain going. And you've had the opportunity to work with so many different businesses and help them scale. And I guess let's go there next. What patterns did you notice with businesses that have scaled successfully?
Yeah. So what I can tell you is the companies that don't scale successfully, much easier. They are the ones that are founder dependent. In other words, everything falls on the person who started the company. Now, this comes from founders that are just really zealous about their business. It's their baby. They want to make sure this grows really successfully, really well. And so they want to have a part in every single piece. But what happens is they become the bottleneck. This can also happen just by default. So they don't know how to delegate, they don't know how to automate, they don't know how to build systems. So everything just naturally by default falls on them, even though they have a desire to get out. If you have a company that is founder dependent, what happens is you have a natural bottleneck that you won't be able to scale away from. Most founders, and Katie, you know this to be true, like we start businesses not because we want to stay stuck in the business for years on end, but because eventually we want to have a business that funds a lifestyle that allows us to have time on our hands to do whatever we want, when we want, how we want. That's why I started a business, right? I
Yeah.
wanted to spend time with my wife, with my daughter. I want to go travel the world. I want to do things that I absolutely am passionate about. And I didn't want to have a job, on my Facebook memory, something actually just popped up today that said, I can't believe my boss denied me, to go home early to go to my wife's thing that she was doing. Like, I had a boss at one point with a full time job that said, no, you can't leave to spend time with your family an hour early, even though I was there on time every single day. I did incredible work. I was one of their best workers. My time was dictated by a boss. When
Yeah.
we start our businesses, what happens then is our time begins to get dictated by our staff who have fires that only we can put out, or by our clients who have, needs that we need to fulfill on, or by our own kind of ambition of things that we know we want to do for our business. And so, how can we make sure that it's not founder dependent and instead it's system dependent, a system that can run without the founder's direct input?
Yeah. Well, and I'm sure so many listeners are nodding along because exactly like what you said, if we started this business because we were passionate. We wanted to do something our own way. And a lot of times, and I remember saying this to my former boss when I first really started growing Next Step Social, I said to her, I said, "Man, I have never worked harder in my entire life until I started my own business." And she was to be fair, she said, "Well, that's not something I want to hear, Katie." But it's true. A lot of times when we're passionate about something, we're working so hard because we want to see it succeed. And sometimes it feels like we're the only ones that cares about this business. And I guess that leads me to my next question, Shawn. What inspired you to join Next Step Social and to really help grow the vision that we're building here?
Yeah. So, what I like to do is find really incredible operators, people who are really good at what they do. Most of the time, businesses get started off, at least the clients we work with, right? They're service based businesses. Most of the time, they're local brick and mortars. Maybe it's a chiropractor, a law firm. You're servicing a local community. And you started the business because you've acquired a skill. You went to college, or you went to a trade school, or you were just mentored, or you figured it out on your own going back to Google University and YouTube University, but you develop this skill set that has value in the marketplace. So you start selling it. Well, you sell it, then you got to fulfill it. And so now you have this vicious cycle of selling, marketing on your own, then fulfilling, and then going back into marketing, sales, and then going into fulfilling as this vicious cycle that you just continue kind of grinding yourself in. So what I like to do is find incredible operators. And Katie, I know this is your show. I'm gonna do a little bragging. You're an incredible operator. You do really good work. And not only that, we're also really good friends. We can joke and have fun. And we knew each other for years as friends. But I like to find really good operators who are really good at what they do, but are again having this desire to grow and scale, and knowing the quality of work that Next Step Social does, the quality, our standard of excellence for everything we do, our standard of testing and innovation, some of the things that you had already set up. I was excited to partner with something that was already successful, that wanted to be even more successful to service more clients. And it's been pretty incredible to come in and see our clientele grow, to see the impact we have with our clientele grow. One of my favorite things to hear from clients is, uh, ever since partnering with Next Up Social, everybody sees me everywhere. Like, everybody, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, I'm on LinkedIn, and people can't scroll without seeing me. Imagine having that level of visibility with your business. Everybody sees you all the time. It's the number one problem with business, the eyeball problem. How do I just get more eyeballs on the things I'm doing? Because nobody likes to be the best kept secret. But what I've discovered is a lot of people who are stuck in that vicious cycle of, okay, I'll market until I get a lead, until I can sell them. And then I have to go into fulfillment, which means they stop marketing and they get into this roller coaster of revenue, no revenue, of like, okay, I got market, I got leads, I got no leads. What happens is they lose an opportunity to be able to be everywhere their leads are at all times. And that's what Next Up Social does. And that's why I love partnering with this company.
2025, we've seen a lot of growth, and not just for us as a company, but for our clients. Like you said, one of the best compliments that we can get is from our clients saying, like, yeah, everyone says I'm everywhere on all of their feeds. And it lets us know, hey, we're doing our job, but we're doing it differently. Because how many times have you opened up social media and been like, oh, I didn't even know I followed them, or I didn't know I should follow them. And we're creating content that people want to see. So I think that too, Shawn, one thing that has helped me, and like I said, I want to be very transparent in this episode because I've had this company now for 8 years. You know, you're co-owner, you're COO, and a lot of the stuff that you've done in 2025 has been the systems. So let's talk a little bit about systems and strategy and how that ties into the creativity and the results that we've been getting for our clients.
Yeah. So, one of my favorite things to do with somebody who, if you're listening to this and you're like, listen, I know I'm doing some marketing, but it's not working or not working as well as I want it to. My messaging is off, or I'm attracting people who can't afford me, or I'm attracting, the wrong type of client, or I feel like I'm on the wrong platforms, like the algorithm hates me.
Social
All of
media
these
doesn't
questions
work for me.
maybe it doesn't work for you, or there's just questions on like, how do I even package and position and like put together a messaging campaign that gets people to move from just liking my stuff to actually buying my stuff. My favorite thing to do with people who are kind of in that situation is something we've started implementing with our clients is strategic incentives. Now, we do these strategic incentives because it gives us a systemic process for uncovering who your ideal client is, and not just the people who you want, like you love working with them, but they're the easiest to sell to because they already have a problem. They're aware of their problem. They're aware that you are a solution to them. And now they just need an incentive to take action. Those are ideal clients. And then what is the messaging that's going to really resonate with them? How can we be strategic about what we post on Monday that's going to move people to buy on Tuesday? And how do we post something on Thursday that we know is going to get some local virality going over the weekend? And how can we be really strategic with that? Having that kind of playbook designed gives us the ability to then say, okay, let's begin to design a campaign around all of the insights that we get in the strategic incentive. And I think that's a really key point that a lot of people come into marketing thinking like, oh, what are you doing for marketing? And they say, oh, I post on Facebook. Like posting on Facebook is not marketing. That's a specific tactic that encompasses marketing, but that's not a campaign. Marketing campaigns, things that actually move the needle for you, that generate leads, that get you leads in the door, get you traffic in your door, that is a campaign of events, a sequence of events that leads to that. So what you're doing is you're probably doing all of the things you think you should be doing. I'm posting, I'm creating the videos, I'm dancing on TikTok, but those are just pieces of the puzzle. And so being able to have the whole puzzle built out in front of you and saying, oh, that's why I post on this, or that's why I create this type of post, just creates a lot of cohesiveness around strategy for our clients.
Well, and like you said, the strategic intensive, that's what we call our VIP day, and that's what we focus on in our VIP day is creating that playbook, whether or not people want to hire Next Step Social to execute it. We've worked with different governments and different nonprofits to help build these playbooks for them, and it's a game changer. So I think that let's talk a little bit about our VIP day. So for anyone that hasn't heard about it, how would you describe it?
So our VIP day is a day where you have two incredible strategists purely exclusively focused on your business, uncovering the gaps, and then telling you how to fill the gaps. Now, like you said, Katie, we've worked with people who are like, hey, we have a marketing team, but we just need an outside perspective and strategist to come in and see where are we missing it. Because sometimes you're so in the weeds that you can't really see what's going wrong. You've just been in it for too long, so you just need another set of eyes. And so we've done that. We go in, we spend a full day with you. Sometimes it's, we've spent 6 hours with someone. Sometimes it's 2 hours, just depending on the size of the company and the work that we're doing. And we go in, we ask a ton of questions. We take a look at all of your analytics. We take a look at all of your social profiles. We take a look at all of your marketing efforts. And then we begin to put the pieces together. We kind of undo everything to redo everything and say, okay, this is where are based off of our hundreds, if not thousands of tens of thousands of hours of experience in this field, what we think you should test out and try and what we're seeing as trending. And, you get this full playbook. We had a client recently come through. They did the intensive. We delivered like an 80-page playbook for them. It was a government agency, and it included everything from compliance to content to different departmental profiles like the police station and the admin and the city
Yep.
council and all of that. And it was this 80-page playbook that they then distributed to everybody who manages social. And it was incredible to be able to work with an incredible town and be able to provide them. Now we're seeing like their content get like literally, it was overnight. We started seeing their
Yeah.
content. They made the changes, the shifts that we recommended, and it's getting a ton more engagement, more people purchasing tickets for their festival, just more things happening for them. There's
Yeah.
other people who are like, hey, we don't have a marketing agent, internal marketing team. We don't work with a marketing agency. It's been me. I've been doing it. Maybe I have like an intern that's been doing it or like a volunteer, but I really need some support here. So even if you do want to work with Next Up Social or you're looking for an agency, what the marketing playbook allows you to do is at least see what is possible. And then you can determine at that point, okay, I want to work with Next Up Social. Or you can even, we've had people say, okay, great. Thank you for the strategy. I have someone local that we're going to hire that I'm going to, give the playbook to. And we're more than welcome to support that team. And then we get a lot of people who say, you know what, you guys clearly know what you're doing. Just go do it for us. And then we're able to turn around that playbook immediately to our implementation team, who then gets to work at and taking action and filling in those gaps. So that's essentially what the VIP day is we go in, identify the gaps, and then give you the playbook so you can make confident decisions on where to spend your marketing dollars.
Well, and I love that we've been able to do this for such a variety of businesses. So we've done it for local businesses, we've done it for nonprofits, we've done it for city, towns and governments. I have a particular VIP day that stands out in my mind that it was just fun to do. We uncovered so much, and then when we presented the playbook to them, just the way that it really was like we had just turned a light on in their business. Like, I finally know where I'm going. So I have my own little, I know exactly who I'm talking about. Do you have a favorite client outcome that we've done a VIP day for?
Yeah. So I'll just talk about our most recent one where this is a client that wanted to do a podcast. She runs a pretty successful company and she was like, hey, I want to do this podcast, but this is our existing podcast. We've created this type of content. So essentially what we did was we audited her existing podcast. We took a look at all of the content and she's produced a ton of content on YouTube. So we looked at all of the content she had on YouTube. She had some content behind a paywall, so we took a look at all that content as well. And then we began to redesign a relaunch for her podcast because her podcast wasn't getting the views, the downloads, the sponsorship dollars, or the conversions that she wanted. So we said, okay, how can we relaunch this podcast? And so we came up with a brand new name for the podcast, a brand new look for the podcast. We came up with an entire 12 to 14 episode season arc for season one of her podcast. We designed all of the different types of speakers we wanted to get on as guests for the podcast, all the topics we would cover, the specific calls to action for every single episode. So, episode one's going to lead to this lead magnet, episode two is going to lead to this consulting form, episode three is going to lead to this product, and episode four is going to lead to getting testimonials and stories from listeners. We designed this entire thing for her relaunch. And then when we presented it to her, immediately as soon as we covered the name of the podcast, she's like, you get it. Oh my gosh, this is what I've been looking for. And I could see as I was describing it, her face just light up because it was the moment where she had finally found someone who just got it. Who was like, yes, nobody else has been able to like condense all of my magic into a clear message, and we were able to do it. And so that was really phenomenal just to see that reaction. But that's what we do. So if you're like, I have a podcast and I don't know, it's just not working as well as I wanted to. That's something that we absolutely love doing is taking a look at your podcast and saying, okay, how can we actually use this as a marketing and sales tool for you, not just a
Yes.
content creation tool for you?
That's exactly it. And I think that a lot of people are doing that. Well, I should do this. I should have a podcast. I should be on social media. I don't know if it's working. I mean, I don't know. And what we really try to get clear and put in black and white. Well, we we use other fun colors too, but in put down on paper so that you can look at it and see it and come back to it is a strategy. And that's what's missing from so many business owners marketing is the strategy side of it. Like why are you on social media? Why do you have the podcast? Okay, what is the purpose behind that episode? So, I think that that's one of the things that I really enjoy seeing is like, I finally know why I'm doing this. I finally know what the reasoning is and what my end goal is and what metrics I should be tracking. So if someone's listening right now and they're saying, "Oh my gosh, I need clarity like that," what is the best next step for them?
Yeah, so if you're looking for that clarity, I often say clarity comes from 3 different places. Clarity comes from the deep, quiet, guttural truth that you just know that you just haven't given space for. So, what I would recommend for people who are looking for clarity is this first step of like sit by yourself without distraction and ask yourself, what do I need today, right now, that's actually going to move the needle forward? And most of the time, you know instinctually what you might need. For a lot of you, it might be I need help. I need someone to come help. A very famous tactician said, it's never what to do. It's always who do I know that can help me do it? And it's never how do I do it? It's who do I know that can help me do it? So most of the time, the answer to that question is a who question is who do I know that I can partner with that knows more than I can and can put things together? So first place of clarity is just that soul truth, that spirit truth, that gut truth. Second place is through conversation. Having a conversation, go talk to someone. We love having conversations with people and just saying, "Hey, this is what we think the next step is for you, just top of mind." I did that on a call. We hopped on a call for 30 minutes. They were like, "Okay, where do I need to go?" And all we did was point some things out and then they got what they needed and it was phenomenal. And so sometimes it's conversation and then oftentimes it's your wife or your husband. Let me tell you, my wife has told me things that I was like, "Man, I wish I listened to you 2 years earlier because I just heard it from someone else. You've been telling me all day." So sometimes it's the business partner or the person who's really meaningful in your life. They already know the truth. They see it. They live with you. Like, go talk to them, and they're probably gonna be like, "Yeah, you need some help. Let's get the help."
It's true. And there's so many times we're just having, sometimes we get so in the weeds of things that we don't see the bigger picture. And just having someone that you can talk to about it, hearing their perspective, it makes a world of difference. Yeah. So, I mean, Shawn, like you said, you've had multiple businesses. You're COO at Next Step Social. You're co-owner. What is one business principle that you live by?
Go solve the problem right in front of you. So often we can dream, especially as ambitious entrepreneurs, we can dream so big. And so we're trying to solve problems that don't exist yet. Look at the problem that's right in front of you. Look at your current system. Identify, like, okay, what is the problem that I can solve today? Go solve that problem right now. For some of you, it's an automation that you need to set up. I like doing this boat analysis. And I learned this from someone named Naja, who was also an operations specialist. But this boat audit is take a look at everything you're doing in your business and either B, batch it, right? Is this something I can do in a batching session so that I can just get it done and over with? O, outsource it. Is there someone I can give this to that's much better than me? A, automate it. Is there a system I can set up that can do this for me? Or T, terminate. I can't tell you how many times I work with people and they're like, "Oh, I'm doing this thing." And I'm like, "Why? Like, stop doing that. Let's take that off your to-do list. It's not even making an impact. Nobody cares. You're spending so much time on it. Let's focus in on the things only you can do." And so go find a problem in your business and identify whether or not you can batch it, outsource it, automate it, or terminate it. And that immediately will give you so much relief in your business.
And with AI, I feel like the automate, it's easier than ever, right? To find the different tools, and we use a lot of different tools at Next Step Social. We're always trying different ways of using AI to help our clients with their workflows. So yeah, love that boat analogy. We're almost at the end of 2025. It's hard to believe,
Yeah.
but what is one word that you would use to describe the trajectory of Next Step Social?
Yeah. Going into I think 2025 was build. for sure. Like we were building a lot of different infrastructure, different systems. We were rebuilding our website. We were rebuilding staff and
CRM.
and
Yep.
our CRM, like just everything. And in 2026, I really think next year's word for us is gonna be the word scale. Like, we've built the systems, and now we just wanna help more people. We wanna work with more people. We wanna support you. If you're listening to this and you know you need help, like, and you've just been looking for a reason to get on a call with us, maybe the strategic incentive is a reason. Maybe it's just a quick call. "Hey, this isn't working. Can you check it out?" Maybe it's, "Hey, I want to launch a podcast," or, "I know I need help with my social media. I know this is the time because it seems like everybody's on social and I don't want to get left behind and I want to be on the cutting edge of like all of this AI stuff. We can be your partner." And so we want to support you. We want to help you. We want to get you to the next level and we want to help you take your next step. That's why we are Next Step Social because we are your next step agency. So, um, for us, it's scale. And when I say scale, it's not just scaling our company, it's helping to scale your company. It's helping to scale your marketing engine, helping to scale your lead generation. So we'd love to partner with you and scale the things that are already working and then terminate the things that aren't.
Well, Sean, I'm so fortunate to have you as, co-owner, COO at Next Step Social. I love these conversations because it shows that growth doesn't happen by accident. It happens by design. It happens by intentionality. I'm excited to be on the journey with you. I'm excited for our clients. I'm excited for the company. If today's episode inspired you to think differently about how you're approaching your business, go to our website, yournextstep.agency. Check out the VIP day. Shawn, in addition to joining me on Rocky Mountain Marketing today, you also have a weekly live show. Tell us a little bit about that. Tell us where we can get in touch with you and learn more about Shawn Q.
Yeah, so we have a ton of content that we produce from Marketing Trends Now, a quick podcast you record, Katie, to Rocky Mountain Marketing. And then I just launched a live show, and that is also on the Marketing Trends Now channel. So if you want to go on YouTube, just search my name, Shawn Quintero, Marketing Trends. You will find my live show. During that live show, what we do is we cover strategy from a high level so that you can understand marketing and not just go take, just post on social. Of course, you can do that, but understanding how do we actually build a campaign? How do we understand journey for a client? How do we understand how to build authority or how to inject personality? That's all strategic content that's posted on that channel.
Love it. And be sure to follow Shawn on Facebook. Check him out on LinkedIn. He's very active and puts out great content. So, Shawn, thank you so much for joining me on Rocky Mountain Marketing today. It's always a pleasure to spend any time I can just talking to you and picking your brain. And yeah, thanks again for joining me on this week's episode.
Thanks, Katie.
Thanks so much for listening to this week's episode of Rocky Mountain Marketing. I hope you're leaving with valuable insights and the inspiration to lead your market. If you've enjoyed our time together and found today's podcast episode useful, I have a small favor to ask of you. Please hit that subscribe button to stay updated with the latest episodes. And if you know someone who could benefit from these episodes, maybe a fellow business leader or an aspiring entrepreneur, go ahead and share this episode with them. Let's spread the knowledge and grow together. Also, I'd love to hear from you and continue the conversation beyond the podcast. Visit me at katiebrinkley.com to connect, to find more resources, or just to share your journey. And be sure to pick up your copy of my new book, The Social Shift, at katiebrinkley.com/book. Thanks again for tuning in. I'm Katie Brinkley, and I can't wait to dive into more strategies and stories with you on the next episode of Rocky Mountain Marketing. Let's keep on taking your marketing to new heights.